All right, students. All right, so 6.4, as you guys remember, we went over the natural logs already. So our next set of examples are going to start with solving logarithmic and exponential functions, okay? So let's start reading box on the left. Now, if you need to, please do pause and write it down. Option number 1 says all logarithms. If we have log base b of x, guys, equals log base b of y, okay, then because the bases are the same, then that means x must equal to y. Now, here are the steps, okay, the guidelines. Number 1 says get only one log on each side, okay? Now, we have to use the properties of log that we study already from above. Set the inputs equal to each other. When we say the input, we are talking about after log base. So input is x here on the left, and then input is y on the right side. Then you're going to solve, and then make sure we check our answer to see if the left and the right are equal to each other. Okay. Now, option number 2 says here, not every term has a logarithm. So in a case where we have log base b of a on one side, it could be right or left side, equal to a side that doesn't have a log, then we can rewrite it in exponential form because we don't have a log to drop from each side. So number 1 said isolate the log, use the properties of logarithms to condense if needed, write in exponential form. Remember, if there's only one log on either side, you can't drop the log, so we have to now write it in exponential form. We are going to solve and make sure we check our answer. Okay. So example 22 to 29, guys, says determine which option to use, then solve. Leave the answer in exact form and in decimal, rounding to 3 places. Okay, so 22 says log base 7 of 2x plus 1 equals log base 7 of 3x minus 5. So as you can see here, we do have one log on the left and one log base 7 on the right. So this is going to be option number 1, where you have one log on each side. Now, because we do have one log on each side, we can drop the log base 7, okay? So because it's an equation, this is equivalent. Then we are going to end up with 2x plus 1 equals 3x minus 5. We are going to solve this normally like you did in pre-algebra. You can move the 2x to the right side or 3x to the left. Most of us would probably move 3x to the left. At the same time, we're going to move the 1 on the other side. So those are going to cancel. Those are going to cancel. We have negative x equals negative 6. Divide both sides by negative 1 or times both sides by negative 1. X is going to be positive 6. Okay, now we need to check to make sure they're equal to one another. So we're going to plug in log base 7 of 2 times 6 plus 1 equals log base 7 of 3 times 6 minus 5. 3 times 6 minus 5. So this is going to say log base 7, 2 times 6 is 12, 12 plus 1 is 13, equal, question mark, right? Remember, are they equal? Excuse me. On the right side, it's going to say log base 7, 3 times 6 is 18, 18 minus 5 is 13. So yes, they are equal, and then we can keep our answer. Now let's move on to number 23. 23 says we have log base 2 of 6 plus log base 2 of x. We now need to use the properties to condense, okay? So this is an addition. So an addition is going to be, we're going to be using the product property, meaning that addition will allow us to rewrite this as a multiplication of 6 times x, okay? Then so log base 2 of 6 times x equals 3. Well, guys, when we rewrite it as a product rule, we have log base 2 on the left, but no log base at all on the right side. So this is the case of number 2, where you have one log only. So because it's one log only, we're going to rewrite it in exponential form. So your base is 2. So your exponential form is going to start with the base, 2, okay? And then remember, your base 2, we're going to go to the power of 3, and then we're going to loop back around to make it equal to 6x. 2 to the third is 8. 8 equals 6x. Divide both sides by 6. X is coming out to be 8 divided by 6, but reduced by 2. So 4 over 3 is our final answer for x. Now let's plug it in to see what we can get. Okay. Now when you're checking this, what we need to understand, guys, is that log, okay, base 2 of x. This spot right here can never ever be 0 and can never ever be negative. So when we plug it back in here, if it makes that whole spot negative, then we can't keep this answer. If it makes that whole spot 0, we can't keep that answer. But anything else will be okay. So when we plug 4/3 back in, 4/3 back in, we plug it in, it's positive. So we are okay to keep. Now let's go to 24. 24 says 2 times natural log plus 3 times natural log of 2, 2 times natural log of x plus 3 times natural log of 2 equals 5. So guys, on the left side, we have 2 natural logs, 2 logs, okay? We can't really have 2 logs, so we have to use the property to condense. So the first property, we need to rewrite the coefficient as an exponent. So we are going to write, oh, come on, computer. There you go. Natural log, this 2 becomes a power, so x squared, plus this 3 becomes a power, so natural log of 2 to the third equals 8. 2 to the third, I'm sorry, not 8. That's what I meant to say. 2 to the third is 8, so it equals 5. So 2 to the third, guys, is going to be 8, so natural log of 8. This is natural log of x squared equals 5. We need to condense some more. This is an addition of 2 logs, so we need to use the product property. So this is going to become x squared times 8, which is 8x squared equals 5. So we cannot drop the natural log because we don't have a natural log on the right side. But remember, natural log is the same as log base e of 8x squared equals 5. Because we only have one log, this is case number 2, where we need to rewrite it as an exponent. Your base is e, so e to the 5th power equals 8 times x squared. But we're going to leave that answer for right now as e to the 5th. Remember, we want the answer says exact and then decimal. So we're going to do everything in the exact form right now, and then we'll crunch the numbers. So now we're going to divide both sides by 8. So e to the 5th divided by 8 equals x squared. To undo power of square, we are going to do a square root. But remember, every time you take a square root, make sure there's a plus and minus. So I'm going to go up here, guys. Okay, so x equals plus or minus square root e to the 5th divided by 8. So 8, we can see, we can rationalize this, okay? So plus or minus square root of e to the 5th over square root of 8. Remember, 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, right? So that is going to be x equals plus or minus e to the 5th under the square root all over 2 rad 2. And we can't really have a radical on the bottom, so now we have to rationalize this. And so this is going to be x equals plus or minus. On the numerator, it's all going to go under the rad. 2 times e to the 5th. Remember, e is a value, okay? 2.718, and it's to the 5th, so it's going to be some really ugly number. All over. Rad 2 times rad 2 is 2, and 2 times 2 is now 4. But before I box that up, we have to go and look at our original question and see, hey, when we plug in values, is it going to give us positive or negative? But let's go crunch the numbers really quickly. I'm just going to use Desmos, guys. So I'm going to minimize the screen and go to Desmos. Okay, let me see what the answer is. Okay, so remember it says it wants us to also do decimals, so I need to do a square root. So if you hit this little keyboard, there's a square root button. We want to do 2e and then caret to the 5th. Okay, that's all under the radical, and we're going to do divide by 4. So that's a positive 4.307. Okay, so again, that's a positive 4.307. So now we're going to go back to our screen. Remember, there's a plus or minus. Okay, so there's a plus or minus. So this is going to be about positive and negative 4.027. So positive and negative 4.027. But remember we talked about we have to double check to make sure your log is never negative. So if we use the negative answer, students, immediately this log is negative. So we can't really have that. So even though we came up with two values here, the positive and a negative, we can only keep the positive. So your two answers, the exact form is positive square root 2 times e to the 5th divided by 4. That's box that up. And then your decimal approximation is positive only 4.027. So these are your two answers. Exact means no decimal, and then we have to use a calculator to do that.